Ivan Katz here at Woodsboro Disc Golf Course outside of Frederick, Maryland. Today I'm going to play around and I'm going to talk about these discs and how they fly and the sport of disc golf, and tell you some pointers on how to throw these discs and how they fly and what the numbers on them mean. So let's get started. Number one, 249 feet according to the sign, but straight uphill. Okay, so I started off with the King. It's a very high-speed disc, speed 14. That's the first number on the disc. 14 means that you have to have quite an arm to throw it. I don't really have enough arm to throw a 14 disc, but that being said, it is an understable disc. The third number is negative, which means when you throw it, in this case when I threw it with hyzer, I'll turn around this way. When I threw the King with hyzer, it turned over. That means it's a flippy disc, and you should have the power to turn over your discs if that's what they're designed to do. If the third number on the disc that you're throwing is negative, then you should be able to throw it with some hyzer and get it to turn up. Hyzer flip. If you're right hand backhand, that means this way, up. So a hyzer flip disc will be thrown on a hyzer, flip up, go straight, and then fade off at the end. That's that fourth number is fade. And if it's a high fade number, then it is gonna go ahead and fade off pretty far to the left if you're throwing right hand backhand, or forehand flick, it's gonna fade off this way. So know those numbers and know what they do. The second number is glide. The higher that number, the more the wind will affect it and the more it will glide and get you some extra distance as well. Okay, so I had a nice turnover, S-curve, out of the King, got me up a ways and over the brim of the hill, and I'm left with a putt, which is probably right at circle's edge, maybe outside. 10 meters is the circle. Anything outside of 10 meters means that you can jump when you putt. Inside of 10 meters, you can't step forward at all. This golf is a tough sport. I often throw more than one disc to show you what they're doing and to just throw different discs so that you can see the characteristics of the discs. No one's going to come out here and shoot birdies every single time. If you shoot a plus 12, try to shoot plus 11 the next time. Play against yourself. And don't listen to what your friends throw, because they throw differently than you. Number two says 221 feet, and also pretty straight uphill there. Okay, so the Viking here, a very straight disc for me. Throw it with a little bit of hyzer, it just turns over slightly and goes straight at the target. Remember, when you're throwing uphill, make sure you give the disc some height. Throw it up. If you throw it straight, of course, it's going to hit the hill. So keep that in mind. Always look to where you want the disc to go. That includes if there's a tree in your way or other hazards, don't look at those. Look at the fairway. Look at the right path, the safe path. And your mind and your body will get you there. Okay, so about a 15-foot putt. Number three is a very interesting shot. Only about 237 feet, but you've got a lot of trees in the way. Looks like I'll have to do a dog leg left, which is tough to do for the forehand flick. Let's see if I can make it happen. Well, from this angle you can see a lot of trees in the way, and you know, it's pretty safe to go up around this way. There is a line straight through here, but that would be pretty tough. I don't think there's any mandos, meaning a mandatory that you have to go this way or something. So I think it's legal to go through here. It would just be extremely difficult. Let's see what I can do. Okay, the Vision. I picked it up when I was traveling through Florida at a used disc golf store, and it's become a staple of my bag. Go to used sporting goods stores that might sell used discs. Go out into a field, throw them with your friends, swap them. That way you can get new discs on the cheap. And don't be afraid of DX plastic either. Nothing wrong with DX plastic. It tends to break in, and it's cheap to buy. Sometimes when they get a little too flippy or a little too uncontrollable, which will happen over the years, then swap them out. Make sure you get the same disc type and the same weight. Go ahead and write your name on the discs with magic marker, but also write the weight and type of disc in case you forget. That way you can buy the same disc again. Okay, the Discraft heat got me through the trees and through the rough stuff to about 30 feet from the basket. Number 4, you can see you're teeing off from down here, and there's lots of trees in the way. It says 302 feet, plus it's uphill, so pretty tough. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so the Halo Air, definitely a staple of my bag. It tends to be about stable for me. It used to be overstable, but it's broken in a little bit, so that means I can throw it with a bit of anhyzer and it'll basically hold the line. It'll fight to fade, and that's what it did at the end. It fought long enough to get me through the hazard though, and that's what I wanted. So even though it faded off away from the basket, it was the right disc for me to throw that way. I could have thrown something understable around this way, but that would be a little bit more risky. But for me, that would be a little bit more risky coming uphill and having all those factors in play. This one pretty much does what you tell it to do. You can throw it with super anhyzer, which for the forehand flick is this way, and it will come around and fade to the left a little bit. I probably could have put a little more hyzer on it, and then it would have faded back to the left a little better. But now anhyzer for the right hand backhand is like this. So there you go, that way. And left me about 25 feet from the basket. But uphill, you want to just look right at the orange tape right there in the center and just throw it with a lot of power and spin. And remember, you're going uphill. Give it enough power to get there. There you go. So if you're missing, the basket's from here to here, say, okay? If you're missing low, uphill, you're not throwing it hard enough. And same thing if you're on flatland. You want to miss to the left or the right of the basket. And if you're not running it hard enough at the basket. You'll hear people say good run. Well, that's basically means an attempt. So make sure you're running at the basket so that you can try to make it. Unless, of course, there's a hazard behind you. Then there's other strategies. I actually have a video that I just produced called Disc Golf Problem Shots. Take a look at that one, and I'll talk about that specific situation in that video. On to the next one. Number 5, 232 feet and about 18 feet of elevation. Lots of trouble trees along the way. Okay, the Crank SS, one of my staple discs. It's become more stable over the years, and it got me straight through here and then faded off. A little short, but if you're putting after your drive, that's a good thing. Okay, the Valkyrie made it through these trouble trees in and amongst the thorns over here. It's a good idea to wear long pants if you're playing disc golf near thorns like this on a course that's not open, and that means a lot of mid-Atlantic courses, lots of trees, lots of hazards. So definitely wear long pants if you can, and also bring a towel, because you'll definitely want to be able to wipe your discs off should they get muddy or dirty or land in the water, what have you. The two putters I'm using today, an AVR, and my trusty 31-year-old 86. Actually a Whammo Frisbee 86. I wouldn't recommend using this as a putter, even though I love it, an 86 softie, because AVRs are really easy to find, something like that. Whatever your favorite putter is, if it's popular these days, go buy 5 of them so you can putt, 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 practice one after another. That's how you get consistency. Okay, so the Valkyrie DX plastic tends to flip up and be very stable. So it's basically a straight disc, a little fade at the end, not much fade though, it's very broken in. And it left me just outside of the circle, probably almost 40 feet from the basket with a tree in the way, so not an easy putt, certainly. Number 6, I'm going to go ahead and play from the Pro tee. It says 305 feet, so you can see them lined up here. The blue tee, which is 294, and then the red tee, which is 170. I just think it's kind of cool to play this one. It's far and there's a lot of trouble trees along the way, so let's change it up a bit and play what they call the green Pro tee here. 305 feet. Lots of trouble along the way. Okay, so the Valkyrie, thrown with some hyzer, flipped up, just stayed straight, right towards the basket. Unfortunately, probably just outside of the circle, probably 40, 45 feet out. So not an easy putt, but again, after your drive, if you're putting, you're doing well. Now, remember I talked about disc golf being a hard sport, and I'm out here throwing multiple discs to show you what they do. Well, it's very important before you start to count your discs so you know how many you came with. That way you'll never lose a disc. Also write your name and number on them, and if you can't find a disc, also joining your local site on Facebook for your particular region will help you stay in touch with other disc golfers. Maybe if you lost a disc, they can help you get it back, help you find it. Number 7, interesting, because it's 300 feet it says, and you've got a steep hill fading this way, so if your disc fades off, you're in trouble. You could be parked and then roll and then be 200 feet away or more. Tough. Let's see what we can do. Okay, the Avenger SS, thrown with power. It's very flippy. So I knew it would turn over, and it did. It turned over, kept me to the left side, and most importantly turned over flat. If it turned over too much and hit, it would cut this way and roll down the hill. So you want to be very careful with a hazard like a big hill on either side, and don't try to crush it. Just try to get close enough for a good putt. And that's what I did here, about 20, 25 feet away. I'm assuming that this basket at the bottom of the hill is number 8. Not real sure. There's a basket up on the hill behind me that says number 8, a yellow basket. And it could be, I guess, this one up on the hill here. But I don't think so. I think it's this white basket down there. So go for that one. Okay, this Flippy King here, cut, rolled, and finished off very nicely, getting me right at the circle's edge, I would say, about 35, 40 feet. So I thought it was this basket here, and maybe it is, but this basket here does have an 8 on it also. There's also one, strangely, up at the top of the hill that has an 8 on it, so I'm very confused. But maybe I'll just go ahead and play both of them. Okay, the Hex Rakuten here got me quite close, actually. Number 9 downhill, 251 feet, I think it says. Nice. Okay, like I said, the Crank SS, one of my favorite discs, did what it's supposed to do. It's a really stable disc. It's gotten more and more stable over the years, so I just made sure not to throw it too high. You don't want to throw high downhill or else you'll get the fade. Either fade off to the right or fade off to the left, depending on which way you're throwing. But downhill, keep it in control, keep it nice and low. And I thought I was going to get an ace, but I guess it hit this tree here, which is good because it would have been further back. So, leaving me here, wrapping up the first 9 here at Woodsboro with a 15-foot putt. Thanks for watching this round at Woodsboro Disc Golf Park here outside of Frederick, Maryland. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all of my other disc golf videos, disc reviews, my literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game, music videos, and just Google Drivin Ivan in any car that you may be interested in. And just Google Drivin Ivan in any car that you may be interested in, and you will find my car review or car video on that car. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Ivan Katz.